it's Mary. I hope you're doing great today. You are joining me from my home and the road along my home, and since it's spring, I'd like to talk a little bit about ways to enjoy nature. So, my first way to enjoy nature is something I like to affectionately call ditch pickup. And you might be thinking that ditch pickup does not sound like fun, it sounds more like work. However, I feel that we're better able to appreciate and enjoy things when we help take care of them. So taking care of nature and your environment will help you better appreciate it. Every year around this time of year, my husband and I pick a day and we just walk along the side of the road and pick up any trash that may have accumulated in the last year. If you decide to do this too, a couple of things. First, get something protective for your hands. We wear work gloves that will protect you from any cuts from something sharp, but it will also protect you from anything gross that you might not have realized was gross before you pick it up. Second, you are not required to pick up something that is questionable. So like this morning, there was something gross along the side of the road, and I was like, you know, I think I'm just gonna let nature disintegrate that instead of picking it up myself. So that's what I did. So you don't have to pick up everything that's there. There's no point in putting yourself in danger or making yourself sick or anything like that just because you're doing ditch pickup. It also brings us to our second point. Getting out in nature helps you notice some of the changes that are taking place in nature. While we were walking along the side of the road, I noticed that the raspberry bushes are starting to leaf out, and there was also a little yellow flower that had started growing that I know was not there last week, so I wouldn't have noticed that if I hadn't have been out looking. So if you periodically walk around your yard or your neighborhood, you'll be able to see the changes that are taking place there in nature. Spring's an excellent time to do that. You have leaves budding out on trees. You can notice the growth in trees from the past year. Also, you can see animals and birds and things that you haven't seen for a while. So make sure you are noticing the animals in the area. No matter where you are, you'll have some kind of animal, whether it's birds or squirrels or chipmunks or insects that come around, and noticing them and watching their behavior is a fun way to learn about nature. We have birds that are around year-round. We have other birds that return, or other animals actually, who return at different times of year. And it's fun kind of just watch and pay attention to the animals and what they're doing. We live along the river. You can probably see it behind me. And so in the fall and the spring, we get the common loon, and we get trumpeter swans, and we don't get them other times of year. We have somewhere between the end of May and early June, we have dragonflies that emerge, and also we have birds that come back from where they winter and build nests in the woods. We've had some birds building nests in the woods or on the house for several years now. We also have some birds that just stop by and are only around for a day or two. We get the Blackburnian warbler, which is just a beautiful bird, but it's only here for a couple days, so if we weren't watching and paying attention, we wouldn't even know that it was around. And that brings me to another way to enjoy nature. Just find a quiet place to sit and just pay attention. I find that if I sit quietly, animals don't even realize I'm there. I've had the opportunity sometimes to just watch deer feeding in the yard, and I'm sitting on the deck and they don't even realize I'm there. I have been sitting on the deck once and a chickadee landed on my foot, which was really fun. And like, they are very light, so that was something I didn't realize. I thought there would be more weight there. So if I hadn't been sitting on the deck, quietly paying attention to nature, I would not have had either of those experiences. You can bring a journal or a camera or drawing paper and just draw things that you see, or take pictures of things that you see, or write about things that you see. And those are all good ways to appreciate nature and deepen your appreciation for nature. I personally just love coming out and sitting and just watching. I find that being in nature is very calming and soothing, and so just paying attention is a good way for me to be happy. And that will bring me to my last way of appreciating nature, and that's looking up. Ever since I was a kid, I have loved just looking up at the clouds. Today our cloud formation is pretty uniform and basic, but there are multiple different types of clouds. You can just watch them changing shapes. You can try to predict how they're going to move, watch the speed they're moving at. A lot of times clouds will create different patterns in the sky, and I feel that that's a very cool thing to just sit and watch. Different times of day you're going to get different reflection of light in the clouds, so seeing like a bright red sky or bright orange sky, or even just like a lighter, more uniform sky, is just a really cool way to experience nature. Well, those are my tips for you for ways to appreciate nature. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you get out and enjoy nature. Thanks so much for spending some time with me, and I will see you again soon. Take care!